Dinarland from Dinar Updates, KTFA, TNT and others. From Article, Commercial Layer, Parasitic, Iran. The Americans in Iraq and the balance of the bank continues to decline. Quote, the current value of the Iraqi dinar is not a real value but a value for the stability, and the alternative is a monetary reserves because the government cannot afford to float the currency politically. In my opinion, they wouldn't be talking about it, if it was not the plan. Soon we can hope the float will start. At Dinar Updates. From Loop, love the due diligence that the banks and GOI are doing. It shows a real commitment, on their part, to stop the corruption once and for all. They still have much work to do on this front. One thing has become very apparent to anyone reading the news: they are done allowing their wealth to be stolen by crooks. This bodes very well for the Iraqi citizens and US. This is exactly what the IMF needs to see them doing. At KTFA. From Walking Stick, US Initiative for Iraq, a comprehensive settlement and end the influence of Iran and militias. Baghdad, Washington, quite the contrary, which raises of projects and initiatives to settle the Iraqi comprehensive inside and outside Iraq. Western diplomatic sources. U.S. capital Washington revealed motionless widely days ago to develop a new project on Iraq and the post-regulation, days, and restore all the land and the Iraqi cities of control. To examine along sectarian, religious, ethnic, and include the initiative, according to a leaked several items are being worked on. Notably, to ensure the unity of Iraq and not to be divided along sectarian lines, religious or ethnic, and an international commitment to support the Iraqi army and security services, and strengthening the foundations of the democratic process in the country, and work to address the effects of the current war with terrorism, and stop regional intervention in its internal affairs, and set a timetable after the completion of the page days. Organize militias to address file and integrated security, military or civilian jobs. Also, provisions of the initiative states that the restoration of the confidence of the Iraqi street, the judiciary in the country through the repair and erase the effects of demographic change and the return of all urban residents to their homes, without limitation or qualification, as well as organizing commission set up by Congress. Sources confirmed, which leaked the provisions of the initiative, that the talks held by Western envoys, former Iraq and specialists in the Iraqi issue in the presence of members of the Committee, Future of Iraq Task Force, a commission set up by Congress last year to put the new American president before a clear picture about Iraq in order to deal with. The committee includes 30 members, headed by former U.S. Ambassador to Iraq, Ryan Crocker, in addition to the membership of former U.S. ambassadors who served in Baghdad between 2003 and 2014. They are. Initiative will invite Iraqis to discuss. A Western diplomat said that the initiative does not represent Washington officially yet, but after the completion of the drafting will be invited Iraqi factions to the United States to display them, and then adopted by President Donald Trump's management, to submit to the Security Council to compel Iraqi parties as well as the neighboring countries. The Western diplomat, who worked in Baghdad between 2006 and 2009, during the American occupation of the country, that the initiative will receive a Western broad support, as well as positive signs that Arab states several pledged financial and military support for Iraq to help it stand on its own feet, he said. Expectations. Initiative's interview to the forces of Shiite close to Iran and is likely to be a repetition of the launch of initiatives by the ruling parties, especially those close to Iran, aware of whom mobility is currently underway in Washington, especially since this movement aims eventually to limit Iran's influence in Iraq, as he put it. He added that the initiative also aims to correct the internal situation and end the sectarian marginalization and exclusion, which Washington sees as Western countries several one of the main reasons for the emergence of al-Daesh, according to the saying. The Western diplomat pointed out that there may be other organizations in the future after the elimination of Daesh, the most brutal of it, if not handled imbalance in this country, he confirmed. Declared leader of the Islamic Supreme Council, Amir al-Hakim, a few days ago, refusing to launch any initiatives from outside Iraq, stressing that the solution is inside Iraq, after weeks to launch the initiative. http://www.kitabat.com/ar/prin61.php. From Agidad77, Blue Recliner Time, speculation, you want inside initiatives, we can bring you inside initiatives, get rid of the terrorist influence that is known as Iran, whatever name you want to call them, they are here to stir sectarian violence and create turmoil. Let them meet new boots on the ground and see how they like the taste of that. We can keep you safe, we can keep the riffraff out, but we need some assurances, and T has talked to Abadi, he knows, he's also heard the plan from General MD. Abadi knows how this cabbage is painted, there is no long or short straws, the Iranian influence in Iraq has used up any semblance of usefulness it ever might have had, and that includes Maliki and his array of clowns. Dash is a soon-to-be history, may the IMIS junkies turn tail for home or suffer the consequences of their barbaric ways. You don't walk into a country uninvited and then say you are helping while you butcher their own people. Get out, and don't let the door hit you in the you-know-what. I need some water now, Emo. Aloha Randy. From Iggy, a little boy was in a relative's wedding. As he was coming down the aisle he would take 2 steps, stop, and turn to the crowd, alternating between bride's side and groom's side. While facing the crowd, he would put his hands up like claws and roar. So it went, step, step, roar, step, step, roar all the way down the aisle. As you can imagine, the crowd was near tears from laughing so hard by the time he reached the pulpit. The little boy, however, was getting more and more distressed from all the laughing, and was also near tears by the time he reached the pulpit. When asked what he was doing, the child sniffed and said, "I was being the ring bear." At TNT. From M. Riles, a trusted friend who has been invested for about 8 YRS shared this. She is not on the TNT forum, so I asked permission to share it with the TNT members. Her daughter-in-law, who is a corporate VP with B of A, was told SAT morning to be at Corp in SC yesterday, Sunday, for a 4 p.m. meeting for Global Currency Reset meeting, and in